You're good on your end?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yes, Mitch, thanks for coming today. Could you just introduce yourself a little bit, tell us about yourself, what you like, your little background, education?
Sure thing. So I'm Mitch Gaines, 29, obviously from Boston, born and raised here in Massachusetts. Graduated college, what feels like a lifetime ago in 2013, with a background in communications and advertising. So I guess I've always leaned kind of more towards the messaging and the conversation more than the politics of things. There's good and bad in everybody. So you gotta kind of meet people where they are and understand, like, what are you trying to get across, and just kind of help them with that. I'd say I gravitate a little more towards doing the right thing than either political side, but I'm sure everybody in the world feels that way.
And where's school? What was school for you?
Salem State, right?
Okay. So did you go there and then you moved there for a little bit and then came back?
No, so I'm from Massachusetts originally. From the North Shore. I moved to Salem, I guess, but it was like 30 minutes from downtown. Went to school there, graduated there, and then moved to Boston, and city adjacent.
Okay, cool. And then can you tell us a little bit about like what you do now? You said.
Yeah. So after college, I had a long career in startups. I worked for 4 different startups for early stage companies, between like the first and 20th or so employee, kind of helping grow from like the prototype proof of concept phase out into like the first couple rounds of funding. So I did that for a long time. Took a brief time off that, worked in professional sports. I went and worked for a pro soccer team for a little bit. That was fun. And then after that, I eventually just took some time off from business altogether. Kind of focused more on what I care about, as I mentioned before, the message and the people. So I have a podcast called Those People, and the entire premise of the show is kind of exploring identities. We take a different label each season. We do 5 interviews with guests of that label, a couple different kind of like pundits or writers or podcast hosts who cover those kinds of people, and then that kind of wraps up each volume. So our first one's on Democratic candidates for Congress. We interviewed 5 candidates, a couple of writers, a couple of podcast hosts, doing a similar thing for professional creatives, and doing another one on veterans and so on.
Okay, very cool. Questions on your end?
You said that you've basically just been in Massachusetts largely. How do you feel that that's informed your political identity?
A lot, actually. I'm weirdly proud of Massachusetts. Like I love Massachusetts. I love being from here. I talk about moving all the time, and I very much would like to live somewhere else for some period of time. I think the trouble I was running into being from Massachusetts is like, what the hell do you want to move to? You know what I mean? It's like most places aren't as good as Massachusetts. Like you guys are both from places that are like Denver's cool. I moved to Denver, but you have no ocean. I moved to California, but like gas is like $4.80 a gallon. And, like half the state's falling into the ocean. So it's like, you got to start weighing the pros and cons. It's like, Massachusetts isn't perfect, but it's top 10 in pretty much everything I care about. Like the taxes are really high, but the guns are really low. The crime is really low. The schools are really good. There's a ton of them. They're relatively cheap. The roads suck. You know what I mean? So like that's what I mean. There's trade-offs everywhere. But I definitely think Massachusetts has kind of like this perfect mix, in my opinion, of like rebelliousness that you find in the West Coast, and I think that's informed by kind of like new money out there and startup culture, and just the fact that people have been there less long. And here with like that kind of rebellious nature of patriotism mixed with the foundational, like in traditionalism that still kind of roots most of the country. I think there's a nice balance here that informs, I guess, like a patriotic progressive centrism that like a lot of people hate and is probably mostly defined as like cultural, coastal elitism. And it's like, that's probably true, and I get that, but also I don't understand why that's a bad thing. Like, why wouldn't you want to be elite? You know what I mean? Like, I live amongst coastal elites. I am like a broke 29-year-old trying to like start a podcast. I'm hardly elite, but like most of my values align with coastal elites because I think they're right. Yeah. Like, there's nothing wrong. You know what I mean? Like they've done pretty well. I know that's not a popular opinion.
Interesting.
That's Massachusetts.
And what are your educational interests in terms of majors and that trajectory?
Yeah, I originally wanted to go to school for journalism. Before going to college, did some research about where I should go to school, and I was like, hey, journalism doesn't pay a lot of money.
But tech does, and I've got a tech.
Here's the thing. Now, all of a sudden, journalism pays a bunch of money because you don't have to do any journalism. You just have to have an opinion and a hot take. But so, yeah, I turned from that, and I decided to go to school for advertising instead. So not necessarily tech. That's what's funny is I worked my entire life in tech. I don't know how to write code. I'm not a UX
Oh.
designer. And so it's like sales, customer support, tech support, technical writing, copywriting, marketing, like anything that isn't writing code in a company, I've done. But all of my business experience is in like apps. So everybody thinks like, oh, like you're like a software guy. I'm like, no, like no fucking clue.
So they're all the companies that you said you went into as startups, they're all apps.
Yeah, one was like an Airbnb for parking. Another was like
Wow.
a field services company for like contractors and stuff. Another was like community building for apartment complexes, but they're all app-based.
Okay.
I don't talk as much about myself.
No, I'm saving some stuff
Yeah.
for future questions, but
Do you have a good feel?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I think you were able to share a lot. And so one question, just to be a political alignment of things, right? You were saying, who would you vote for?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because now it's like I have real trouble with like a political label, but who would you vote for? Like rank your candidates, kind of like puts it nicely like on the spectrum. What are the circumstances? Like this is what I mean. Like who would I vote for changes vastly depending on like what the circumstances. Like if which election was when, in what election we talking?
Let's say it was
like in the Democratic
2 months.
primary, in the general election.
You could take your pick, but the election is this November.
Okay,
Yeah.
so say I was moving to Iowa and I moved in time to register to vote. I'm going to vote in the Iowa primary. I would probably vote for Bernie Sanders in Iowa, but thinking about like when I'm voting in Massachusetts, several primaries later, depending on how that shakes out, like I assume Bernie Sanders will be railroaded and not have much of a path to winning the nomination. If that's the case, then like I'm kind of searching for second place choices, and that's between Warren, Pete Buttigieg, and
Okay.
Very good. So it gives you a good idea?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Without
anyone better
spoiling.
on left, really. Pete left.